So I've been in and out of healthcare facilities. I went to 2 ERs in 5 days, and I went to a specialist who sucked. It has been eye-opening, to say the least, at how bad. Like, I hadn't noticed how lame healthcare is now in this country, because I don't go to the doctor that often. Thankfully, I'm a very healthy and fit guy. But, like, for instance, today I got a call because the ER doctor put in like a request for like a consult, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they called me. I missed the call, but I saw the dictation on my voicemail, and it was, yeah, hi, we're calling to set up an appointment. Just want to let you know that our first available is going to be sometime towards the end of August. It's like, somebody else with something serious would be dead before, and they don't care.
Yeah.
These receptionists do not care. If you're like, hey, I'm in a lot of pain or whatever, they're like, sorry, that's our... And it's just astonishing. Anyway, how have you been?
I mean, to like go off what you're saying, like people when they talk about Canada and their universal healthcare system, they always say, but you have to wait so long. It's like here, it's the same exact thing, but you can't afford it.
You wait at home. You wait a long time, but you wait at home for your next appointment.
Yeah.
In Canada,
same thing. They're saying like you can't get the surgery for months out, but it's like at least you can get it when. Like, you also have to wait as an American.
And you don't have to pay for it.
Exactly. But you have to pay for it at the end. In Canada, You get it, it's paid for.
So here you wait and pay, and there you wait and don't pay.
Yep.
That sounds better. The interesting thing is that, and I'm not sure how it is in other countries, I really don't know. But here I've noticed, I finally went, the second ER I went to was one that I'm more used to. It was a hospital that I'm more familiar with. But I went to our local hospital here, and they treated me like I was a burden. And it's like, wait a second. Like, I think people in healthcare, as hard as their jobs are and as dedicated how many of them are, there's a good majority, I think, that maybe it's not a majority, but a good number of people in healthcare that don't have that mindset of, okay, well, maybe they're not my grandma or my mom or my cousin or my brother. They might just be a number, but they're a human being. I think it's actually lower than that. I think the threshold is that they think that they just have to get through the numbers and go through the motions, and they don't treat patients like clients. You're in a service industry. It's not like they're doing us a favor. They're being paid. I mean, the last ER bill I saw, we have great insurance, thank God, but they tried to bill for like $25,000. So it's like, they're not doing us a favor. Why are they acting like we are, like that we're putting them out?
Yeah.
It was so crazy to me.
And it's I believe that it's this way because there's a profit motive, first of all.
But if
they're run like businesses, like you have giant conglomerates that buy up smaller hospital systems, and they don't have to tell you like they're actually part of this giant organization. It looks like it's local. It looks like it's just that, but it's not. And then those people, all of them, most likely their parents couldn't help them through school. So they have tremendous amounts of debt, and they're being paid low wages because if you go to a different hospital system, it might be owned by the same conglomerate.
Number one, I think you might be right.
It lowers our care, our quality of care, because they treat it like a business, and because these people are depressed in debt. Yeah, and it's like you're making, even if you make like $27 an hour, like a medical degree, we're talking at least over $100,000.
I think it's more like $300,000.
Yeah, depending on what you do. Yeah, I want to be conservative. I've been a little excess in the numbers previously.
But you're so right. One, when they followed up with me, it turns out that the ER department is completely like outsourced.
Yeah.
So you're right.
That's what surprise billing happens when the doctor there at the ER is not in your network, but that ER is in your network, and then you wind up with a surprise bill because they're like, "Oh, we don't cover that doctor." It's like, I didn't know that doctor was going to be the one who treated me, and no one told me that they weren't going to be.
I mean, I would fight
that happens. You always have to double check with them.
I asked for an MD, and they gave me a DO, which is a big difference, and they tried to justify it. And this was at the end already, and I was like, because I didn't know.
Yeah.
I asked for an MD, and I just assumed they gave me one because the past 2 times I've gone to this ER, they've also sucked. So it's 3 strikes and they're out. But didn't know what was going on until I wasn't getting the care. I was like, I'm sorry, can I please see a doctor? And it turned out it was a nurse practitioner. So this time I was not going to take that route. Like I just
Yeah.
wanted actual care, and I still didn't get it, and I still didn't get what I asked for. But interestingly enough, you were right. It's outsourced. And when they called me to follow up, I was like, it just seemed like the nurses and the DO I got, they were having such a bad day. Like nobody seemed to
Yeah.
like their job. So I didn't even tell you that. And you knew immediately the two things that were wrong
Yes.
without me even saying.
Because I've worked in healthcare a lot. I worked for a company called Plush Care for 3 years. And it's like, you are basically a medical assistant. But low pay, you're expected to handle tremendous amount of like, we have phone calls, text messages, emails, like you can text us, and then in-app chats.
And
Like,
you're
expected,
facing with actual patients?
yes, every single day.
And you're getting low wages to be the front line for
Yep.
somebody who really needs actual care.
And you expect to be super nice, be happy all the time, even though like I can't afford my bills. Like I'm working full time for you guys and I can't afford, and the company is based in California. So what they do is they hire people in Texas, hire people in Florida, and they're like, it's not our, like,
They'll find somebody who's going to
exactly.
do it
It's
for
like
that crappy
you
wage.
are replaceable. If you don't want to do this job, someone else will, or we'll just outsource it. The last
so
company I worked
depressing.
for, they outsourced their medical assistant team to the Philippines. So what does that mean for those patients? And a lot of them, like they had done this prior, and a lot of patients were like, I'm so glad to talk to someone. I don't want to be xenophobic or racist or whatever, but that if the first language is English, especially with medical things,
no, totally.
like you're in the language barrier. You should not have that in medical care because things can get lost in translation. So that was like, I've seen it from the other side, and I've gone to places and I have the same exact experience, but I know like you got a lot of debt, you're unhappy, and you're expected to work and, serve all these people.
Well, it gives me, it lets me
It's not
have
you.
a little bit more context, but in the moment when you're in a lot of
course,
pain and
yes.
you want them to take that pain away and they don't, and they still bill you
Yes.
and just treat you like you're nothing more than a birthday, it doesn't, like, I almost don't want to give them that benefit of the doubt, but I do now.
Yeah.
But at that time, it's like,
it's forced
they
on
did
them.
nothing for me. Like, I wish I could take that back because I'm going to get a bill and they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They did nothing. It was
Exactly.
really like wretched. Like it was really bad. So anyway, but look, this is a depressing subject. We're not going to stay on this. We want to be positive, but I need to, because I'm much older than you, take control of my own health. Make sure I'm not doing crazy things that are going to put me back in our shitty healthcare system that doesn't do what it's supposed to. And it's getting worse.
Yes.
I cannot be kissing my dogs anymore. They get into everything. They eat shit, literally.
Literally, yes.
I love my babies, and I do kiss them, and I have to stop.
No, yeah, I
have
completely
to.
understand. Like,
Do you kiss your dogs?
Yes. Sometimes it gets restricted. Like if has been in the kitty litter box that day, like if she's been sifting, I'm like, no, you're not allowed to get kisses. And she gets suppressed. Like she gets upset that I won't kiss her. Like
no, I know.
walk away
Lana
from me,
is
like,
the
and just
same
stare
way.
at me. Yeah, similar breeds. Very depressed, but it's like, I'm not kissing you. You were just in the litter box an hour ago. I need like your saliva to kill all that bacteria, whatever. I'm not kissing you until tomorrow.
They do say a dog's mouth is cleaner than a human's, which I totally believe.
Is not true.
I believe that because humans are so disgusting, but dogs do eat shit, and your dog eats cat shit.
Yeah,
which I feel like because
it's
already been encapsulated in a ball, it's like that much more toxic.
Yeah,
she eats the shit, right? She doesn't just mess around with it. She
separates the shits and the pisses.
Oh, she eats the piss too?
The piss clumps, yes.
Oh, my stars. Okay, yeah, that's nasty.
Disgusting.
So, yeah, I gotta stop because
really
I kiss quite a few of my babies, and I love them dearly, and they're still trying, and I'm stopping because I can't inhale those toxins. I'm also stopping because I drink a ton of sparkling water. I'm stopping that too because there's mixed reviews on what it does to your gut. Like some say it actually like helps it, and like if you drink too much, it could have. And they have this. It says natural flavors in everything. And they say that is not like the natural source could be anything, like coca. Like cocaine is a natural thing.
Yeah.
but you
Dog
don't
poop
really.
is natural.
Yeah, so it's like, and I feel like because what's going on now in our government in the current administration with like Vladimir Trump and Elon Musk, like there's going to be even less protections moving forward. Now, do you know that those guys? And by the way, I hate Elania, but I'm not a hater of Vladimir Trump. But do you know these guys are coming from voting now? You've heard it here first. We called it, right? There's going to be a recession. All this stuff will still go up. All the stuff that's happening now, we called in our first episode.
Yeah.
And now they're coming for voting. We call that too. How do you feel about, like, are you encouraged that people are starting to rise up, or do you think it might be too late?
I never think it's too late. I don't think people are angry enough yet. I think they're giving him, especially Trump, a window because he keeps blaming Biden. He's like, I've inherited this, blah, blah, blah. But it's like the top 10% of earners are doing the majority of spending in the economy. Like everybody else has had to cut back. So rich people are the only reason our economy is okay. Because we're we're capitalist consumer. Like if people don't spend, our economy crashes, but we have nothing to spend. They're all doing spending.
But it's starting
and that is
already.
Yeah, and people, like, you can't buy eggs or whatever. Like that is just a basic staple that most people need. It's like an easy breakfast. You make desserts. There's just a million different things you can do. And I think the fact that like you're working and your family's making money, but you're never able to catch up. Like,
but
everything keeps getting more expensive.
I think it's escalating though. At like the Republican recession is coming, like, and it's probably going to happen in the next couple months because, I mean, Trump has only been in the office for a couple of like months. It's been a couple of months, and because he's so aggressive in trying to seize power, he's doing things that are making a worldwide like web of like economy and ebb and flow really erratic. And people that are just getting by can't keep up with that. Mm-hmm. Even the top 10% can't keep up with that. There are people that are riding the roller coaster like, whoa, this is way too much too fast. And I think it's starting to hit because big companies, and you know, this actually, like, I like this because these companies like ditch diversity like on day one. But like Walmart, their profits are like Target, their profits are going down. Tesla is tanking. Like that
Tesla.
We'll talk about that later in a Hatespiration, but Tesla is probably going to go bankrupt at some point. Like Elania's like biggest asset is tanking. Well, you know what? You know what? I'm not going to say that because I think Tesla, as soon as he stepped up and tried to like this, like the richest guy in the world is making decisions on people that don't have enough money to buy food. And he's trying to like change our government, have a say in our government. And his friend, who's our president, is another billionaire who has never had to work hard for a day in his life. And it's just kind of reprehensible. You know what I mean? And I think people are hating on Elania so much that their Twitter's tanking and Tesla's tanking. Like to the point where I think he lost like $80 billion in a day last week.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty cool.
Walmart lost $22 billion, because they said, and Walmart especially relies on people who are lower income, to offer, lower prices because they have the market power to buy things at a certain rate. With the tariff changes, this is 7 hours ago. They announced that it wiped out $22 billion in profits when their CEO said that consumers are expressing stressing behaviors, which means people are cutting back.
Yeah.
And richer people do not go to Walmart. But then on the other hand, Target, who you do have wealthier consumers, are pulling back because of their reduction of DEI, and taking away all that.
Nobody spends more than a gay guy.
Yes.
If you alienate gays, you better get ready.
Which I'm glad people are actually like sticking to their guns and being like, I'll just go somewhere else. I'll go to Amazon or Walmart, skip Target. I get a lower price anyway if you guys aren't going to stand up for the values I thought that you did, unlike other companies.
You could go to another company that
wishy-washy. Exactly.
I mean, Walmart and Amazon doesn't stand up for anything either.
No, and they never have.
But if you're going to pay $8 for something or $6.75, you're going to go to the lesser of two evils.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. All right. So you think because that makes sense. That makes sense for the consumers that are strapped for them to say, you know what, if you're just going to be shit anyways, I'm just going to go for the absolute lowest price. I won't shop for my values because you all suck.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, we have to, hopefully people start coming up with new companies. And as these companies start to falter, they get it. And I don't know, like, look at, I don't know. I feel like if there's enough, like Amazon is so horrible to their employees. Like maybe if enough employees leave, like look at what's going on with like Ben and Jerry's. You know, Unilever is such a shit corporation. You know, and fired Ben and Jerry's CEO for his like more progressive views. Like, why are they getting involved in that kind of stuff? It has nothing to do with them. They're speaking their mind. They're giving to the cause that they want. It's like people like Alania and like Unilever want to force their will on everybody. And that's not how you stay in business. And that's not how you stay a billionaire. Because everybody now thinks that Twitter and Tesla are so uncool and so lame that millions and millions of people are leaving those companies and never coming back. I would never buy anything from Tesla ever.
Yeah.
I would never, ever be on Twitter or be an advocate.
That's easier.
You know, it's like
to leave those companies. But when we're talking about Unilever, like you don't even understand. It's like, I think 4 billion or so people use one of their products at least every single day.
They're so cruel.
I know you're a big fan of Method, and Method is owned by them. But Method is owned by them. Yes.
Thought,
Seventh Generation is.
Seventh Generation is.
Seventh Generation is.
Mayors is
that's
owned
it.
by
Okay, yes.
SC Johnson.
Mayors is owned by SC Johnson. Seventh Generation is Unilever.
By the way, I shop all my values. I don't buy any more Seventh Generation, and it hurts the like non-cruelty arm of that brand. But if it hurts the parent company, Unilever, even in some small way, I think all of us should still try as much as possible to shop for our values. I will never buy another Seventh Generation product again. And I actually looked at the stuff that I do buy, and none of it is Unilever. I also am like I've really cut back on, we're back to farmers markets. We're back to like a lot of, unfortunately, Instacart, but I love Instacart and they've never done us dirty. I've cut back on Target. I completely rebuke Walmart and Amazon. We probably buy about 8% of what we used to on Amazon. And I cancel my Prime. Like, I think if millions and millions of people do that, we're talking about billions and billions of dollars lost. And that makes a difference.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing about Ben and Jerry's is, like they have an ironclad contract that Unilever does not get involved in their social responsibility campaigns. They are suing Unilever, and it's because they broke the law, like literally in their contract. Ben and Jerry's would not
know that. Aren't they smart enough to know? Oh,
but you're talking about
contract. Why would they breach it? And
we're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars that they have, and Ben and Jerry's is one of their brands, and their legal teams, you can handle it. They don't want retribution from Trump or from AIPAC or these Jewish rights groups who are like, oh, you're pro-Hamas, pro-terrorist because you don't want Palestinians dead, who the majority of them are Christians. Like, Palestinians are mostly not Muslim. They do have Muslims, but they're majority Christian. Like, it
is such a tough thing. Like, I literally am getting goosebumps because I don't understand the vitriol and the hate. Like, like people aren't remembering that there's a lot of innocent people, men, women, children, animals that like literally by the thousands that are being killed.
They barely have any men left. Like the majority of people are under the age of 18 now.
Because they've killed everybody else?
Yeah, they've killed most of the males.
And how are somebody who's 18 with no infrastructure in a war-torn area going to fend for themselves? How are they going to live a productive
I heard this story on my podcast today that this family, this reporter who's on the ground there, witnessed this family starving. Like there's either no food or the food that they have, it's like a bag of flour is like $17. It caught a turtle and ate a turtle. It's like they don't eat turtle. They don't eat turtle meat, but they had no other choice. So what do you do? Like that is just.
And my heart breaks for the turtle too, because this is the ugly, disgusting world that we live in because of war, because of hate, just because of hate. I mean, this is so sick. Where are we going with this? Because if this podcast is going to make me feel even worse about our society, we may have to start a podcast about like the Golden Girls or something, like, because my heart is sinking. It's so.
But it's important that people are aware
so
about
heavy.
these things.
It's so
And like
ugly.
for Unilever, look up. And I saw like I think it was Vox or something that posted it. They were like, these are all the brands that Unilever owns. Like the CEO spoke out. It's like, Palestinians have rights. We shouldn't be killing people. Like the most basic human sentiment that you can express. And Unilever fired him. So boycott them. Like boycott all of their brands.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to post it on the Poopah at some point when we get to it.
Yes.
Who knows when that'll be. But I think everybody should be more of an advocate for something good in their life. And if you just shop what your values are, that's a help. It's an easy way to like do something good for this world that desperately needs it, because it's getting worse by the day.
But it's very hard when you have corporations who you think you have a choice in the store, but like 75% of the things are owned by like 2 or 3 major corporations. Like they make everything from ice cream, Ben and Jerry's,
to
cleaning products,
and
exactly,
and like motor oil. And,
yeah.
But Americans are so dumb that they elected another billionaire why do they think that this guy was going to come?
That's we got off topic before. You were like, do you think people are going to rise up? Or do you think there's still hope? And it's like, I think people will eventually realize that promise is never going to be fulfilled of like $2 eggs and $1 something gas.
It's going to keep going up.
It's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. And that's like, I think why people voted for him, because like we can't take Biden anymore. And like everything's just
I think they
more
were so sick of Biden, they thought that Trump like was not an extension of that.
Yeah.
And Kamala may have
just
been.
do something different.
But they ignored all of these huge flashing red lights that said, don't do it, don't do it, don't give in to that. And they still did. And now a lot of those people are going to be effed. And they're going to deserve it. But I still feel like, God, it's not too late. You know, if you did vote for him and you are looking at what's happening in the world and in our country and are like, wait a second, I did not sign up for this. It's not too late to do something. You know, it's not too late.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we go down a total rabbit hole on that, we were talking, I think the last time we did, we talked about like prison and like, is it like not prison reform, but like, we talked about the death penalty and we talked about, like our prison system. And there are 2 things that popped up earlier today that I thought I'd want to talk to you about. One was that Luigi Mangeone. Yeah. I don't know what the latest is with him, but I do know that he got a heart-shaped note tucked into his socks that were given to him, which a guard, I guess, confiscated, read the note first. And I guess it was just saying like, hey, you have thousands of people that are on your side. You know, we wish you the very best. All right. Love you, everybody. See you next time. We read and have a brain, and we don't get our news on Facebook. But most people are dumb, and although we don't claim to know much of anything, we have common sense and a little street smarts. And these are just our opinions based on what we know. Despite that, we have to make extra exuberantly clear that this is just entertainment and maybe a little bit of therapy for us. So everything we say is alleged times 10 all the way every day.